Hey, I know y'all gonna enjoy this video right here. All right? We sat down with Stan. My boy Nick had an intense conversation where we compare and contrast heat press versus screen print. All right. We also shared our stories about both brands. I know y'all gonna enjoy this. All right. Don't forget. All right. We got that free Facebook community. If you haven't gotten the free Facebook community, it's a must. It's literally gonna take 5 seconds. Go ahead on and click the link at the bottom in the description. Get in that Facebook group. We giving exclusive access to me and Nick. All right, last but not least, we're gonna be giving a lucky subscriber 100 free t-shirts as soon as we make it to 70K. And that's approaching pretty fast, people, so you don't wanna miss it. Let us know everything you loved about this video, and we'll see y'all at the end.
Yo, hey, we back on the channel. This one right here is super special because I had to bring Stan Banks on himself. All right, we've been going back and forth with these videos. But I'm like, man, let me get this man on the call. Let me get him on something. I don't know how we're gonna make this happen, but I found out a way to make this happen, and I got my guy on the Worldly channel. So just go ahead on and introduce yourself, because our subscribers may not know you, some of them may do. But let's act like nobody on our channel know you, so they can get to know you. And make sure y'all go subscribe to my guy's channel once he let y'all know what he all about.
First and foremost, man, thanks for having me. I love the work you guys have been doing over the years. For you guys who don't know me, my name is Stan Banks. I started a YouTube channel called T-Shirt Side Hustle in 2017, where I pretty much went out to show people how I was making money to survive when it came to T-shirts. So on my channel, you'll find how to do all the different techniques, the ins and outs, and just putting the hustle behind building a business and having that mindset mentality. I try to review the machines and try to give you my input based on where you may be in your situation and kind of adapting it to where you could take it.
So tell us how you got into it though. Like, what was that one thing was it a video? Was it somebody telling you about it? How did you get into this industry?
So, man, it's funny because I didn't even start with a heat press, right? I started out, I was doing photography, and all I was trying to do was to kind of market my photography business. So I was making shirts. But people started to buy my shirts, which threw me off because it just says Stan Banks Photography on it. And then before you know it, I had sold like 8 dozen shirts, and I'm looking step back like, what is going on here? Right. So then from there, people just started to ask me, hey, can you print my shirt? And I was like, yeah, I knew where to print them at. I didn't really know how to print them at that time, but I just took them to my printer. I would mark it up. And what I found out later on down the line, I had become what was called a broker. So I was brokering jobs that people would bring me, and I'm making like $100. I would mark it up $1. And then, you know, I would charge them for design. I would charge them for a screen. So usually somebody with like 24 shirts, I profit like $100. And I didn't have to do nothing but pick them up from my printer and deliver them to a customer. So then I started to look for more information, started supplying my own shirts. And then, you know, then from there, I started to get deeper into actually becoming a print shop and moved away from photography.
Oh, I like that. Hey, before we even get into the heat press talk, just some words of wisdom. It's crazy because like most people think that, you know, when they start something that this is going to be them, this is going to be the career, this is going to be everything that they do. But sometimes that help you transition into the thing that is what was actually meant for you to do. So like, I started out as just a graphic designer, bro. Like I honestly was doing designs for people. I was doing flyers, I was doing cover art, I was doing t-shirt designs, different stuff like that. But I was doing my brand on the side. But you know, I started to doing my brand full time once I said, you know what, this is something I want to focus on, and I was the designer of my brand. But through me being the designer of my brand, I started to become the marketing person of the brand. I started becoming the YouTube person of the brand, and I continuously transition into a different part in the business. So it's never what I started out to be. But when you get started in something, so all my people that starting, you know, with t-shirts, heat pressing t-shirts, that may transition you into something else that you are meant to do. So don't whenever, I'm not gonna say, you know, just drop everything and just you know, quit what you're doing, but don't be afraid of transitioning to something new. Like it's some people out there that have a t-shirt business and is not as successful, but through that you could figure out what you can be successful at. So, you know, for some of my people that just begin discouraged when things not working for them, you got to understand that like through those things that you find out that's not working for you, you're gonna start to find the things that are gonna work for you. So I like how you started out with. I would have never known that. I'm thinking you an expert t-shirt guy. I would have never thought you would have started in photography. So that's
to add to that, you know, for me, it's like one hustle led me to the next. So before that, I started out repairing computers. Then I was like, I did design. I was doing business cards and restaurants, menus, all of that stuff. Then I wanted to build websites, and I was making websites, and I'm like, man, my website sucks. So that's how I picked up the camera in the first place. You know, like it all led me down the track of what I ended up coming today. And pretty much overall, like all of the hustles that I've done in my like growing up, trying to figure life out, trying to figure this journey out. I use all of that stuff now. At one point, I was a marketing guy for 26 authors for a urban book publishing company, doing all the designs and marketing and all of that stuff. But now I get to use all of that skill set in what I do today, which is the YouTube and consulting with big companies and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, you definitely have to pay attention and listen. Sometimes you just got to look at what you like to do and where the money's coming from and make decisions based on those things.
I like that. Last question before we get into the screen print. Like, what's your journey been like on YouTube? Because to be honest with you, we just hopped on here, I think 2 years ago. So we pretty new to the scene, catching a lot of traction fast, but I feel like you've been in the game a little bit longer. How did you get into making YouTube videos? Was it just you picking up a camera? Was it you just saying, hey, I want to blow up a YouTube channel? What was that?
Nah, man, I look at my environment, man. And so many people around me, you know, I got a degree in computer science, minor in graphic design. But most people leave college, and I went to Dell State and Cheney University, HBCUs, and I come home and they get jobs that, you know, they could have got out of high school or different situation like that. And everybody around where I grow up, like, we need money. So I'm like, you know, I'm doing pretty good for myself through t-shirts. And so I was like, you know what? I'm tired of hearing people complain about money. If you need money, this is what I'm doing, you know, and I'm not perfect. I'm still figuring it out, but I'm been able to sustain and survive off of what it was that I was doing. So I just got on YouTube. I had my cell phone. I ain't had no camera. Most of the time I might grab a water bottle, a Tupperware. This was my tripod. And if you look at like my earlier videos, I was just showing people the work that I was doing. If I had a job, I would just kind of walk through it. If I was on live at 2 a.m. printing shirts, doing all that kind of stuff, it wasn't really to blow up. I didn't even know this was even possible to get to the point that I'm at now. I don't have a viral video. I didn't ever get a ton of traction 5 years into it. And, you know, I just was trying to put out information and try to help one person in every video. And it just kind of kept going from there.
I like that. Hey man, let's get into the talk though, man. Let's get into the heat press talk. Cause honestly, bro, like I was when I made that video, when I told everybody don't use a heat press, I made that video just like for one, that's what I teach. That's what we teach our students. To save your time and spend your time on something that really that the business really needs your time for. And what we say, a lot of the times the business need their time to make money. So I tell people, focus on making money, focus on making sales. So then you can actually start to actually grow your company and grow it big as you want it to grow. So when I made the video, it was like, this is something I've been teaching people. Like this is something I've been telling people. Like it wasn't nothing new that I was just coming up with saying. I was like, you know what, let me try to put it in video format. And I honestly, bro, like I didn't really think that people was gonna like take traction to it, because I didn't think that it would have been a super controversial topic like that. But then I noticed that a lot of people actually use heat press. Like I was so unfamiliar with the amount of people that actually use heat press. Like it's way more people using heat press machines than actually out there just screen printing their t-shirts. Like it gotta be, because the minute we talked about that, it just blew up. It just took off. So I just want to talk about that. I just want to talk about, like, you know, really from the perspective of your side. I like the video that you made with like the reaction, and you was just talking about how you know, you gotta go with what's good for your story and for what you got going on. And I definitely agree with that. So I want you to talk about, I do have a couple of questions as far as like the comments. But I want you to talk about your side of it. So like, why haven't you ever extended out to just do screen print, or why do you specifically stick with just doing heat press?
So when I started out, right, I was like I said, I became a broker before I even got and kind of knew anything that I was doing really at that given moment. So then from there, I tried to learn how to screen print. I did all of this stuff, and I had the roughest time. I had a U-Do. I had a DIY starter kit. I mounted that joint to my mom's dryer in the basement. I'm trying to screen print orders, and it's just a full-on disaster of kind of like getting things going. So mind you, I started in 2009. Around 2015, Straight Outta Compton came out. So what I did was I started a brand called HBCUTs, and I started printing straight out of all of the black colleges everywhere, you know, FAMU, Clark, Atlanta, all of them. I started printing them. I had the website, and I had like $30,000 months printing $10, $15 t-shirts. And I was like swamped. I was overwhelmed, right? So in the midst of there, you know, you only want a certain amount of shirts before you make a screen, and then you actually start screen printing. But I got a lot of smaller schools that reached out to me like, yo, can you do my school? And I'm like, well, my first pitch was, if you can get 12 friends to buy it, I'll give you your shirt free. You know what I'm saying? You just got to get 12 people around your school to buy it. I'll put the page up. We'll do a pre-order, and we'll kind of put it out there for them to go. But some of those people weren't able to get the number up. So I'm just like, all right, I'm going to go get a vinyl cutter. So I ran to Philly, got a vinyl cutter, came back, had a heat press in the shop, super old, probably like from 1985 at that point. Super old. You actually had to turn a dial to start the timer, and it would like tick around like back in the day. So from there, what ended up happening was I was like, man, I just instantly, after cutting my first shirt and pressing it, I thought about all of those times that I was having troubles trying to burn a screen, trying to do all this stuff. And I was like, man, why didn't I just start? Because I wasn't trying to print shirts, I was just trying to promote my business at that time, right? So I thought about all of those struggles, and I'm like, if I could have started over, I would have started with a heat press. You know, just because that knowledge base is so, it opens up everything that you can do. It kind of gets your feet wet, and then you can decide what you like before you go deep into buying like professional equipment or whatever the case is, whatever direction you want to go. So that's pretty much was my journey and where the whole heat press came from. Like my startup was like really, really rough in this entire thing. So from there, it was just like, that's when I started YouTube in 2017. Like if I started over today, I would start with a heat press. And then you figure out what you like to do, and then you go deeper into that. Me, I didn't get into it really to start brands, even though I did start brands because I knew how to make shirts. I can make niche market brands about anything.
I see what you're saying. And like here, like if you don't agree with some of the stuff I say, you could just disagree. So we can have a little debate here if you want to. But I get what you really, if I'm not mistaken, what you're saying is more on the lines of, like, you got more into the production side of it than actually building like a one niche based brand. Like you got into the heat press may be better for people that's like trying to make money at all angles. And what I mean by that is printing their own stuff. So let's just say when you was with your photography business, by you having a heat press, you're able to just slap that on the shirt right there and go. But then if you meet somebody else and they're like, oh, I like your shirt. Do you know anywhere I could get custom shirts you like? Hey, I could do them myself. So basically, you allowed it to open up a new income stream from multiple different places because you had the skill set to be able to make your own garment right then and there, no matter what it was. And I'm glad that you say that, because our channel, what we try to teach people is how to build like one brand. So it's not even about, because if you wanted to go, you know, invest in a heat screen print company or a heat press company or whatever, it's still just as profitable as creating a brand. Obviously, you probably got to do more volume because you printing for people that's trying to actually go out there and resell. But it is a space in the business for you to be successful at that too, because at the end of the day, somebody has to go to somebody to get their shirts made if they're in the position that we're in. Right now, bro, I can't go back and go print shirts. I can't. Like I could barely go back and teach somebody how to print shirts because there's so much demand already for our products that is like, I need product now. Now, when first starting out, there's a lot of people that say I wouldn't go the screen print route because you don't know how it's gonna sell. But I tell people this, bro, like, and let me know what you think about this. At the end of the day, bro, is millions of people in this country. It's billions of people in the world. You telling me you don't have 10, 20 people in your phone right now that you could call to just buy your product, investing in 12 or 24 shirts is really not a risky investment. Like I could say if you was gonna screen print 10,000 units, then that's different. But screen printing 12 to 24 shirts, to me, I feel like that's not that risky because you still gonna have to invest anyway. So even if, let's just say you paid $10 per screen print shirt. Some people say they get it way higher than that, but I'm telling you, you may know this yourself. You could get that lower than $10.
Yeah, you can.
Right? So like, let's just say you paying $10 though. So let's just say you pay $10 for 12 shirts. That's $120. If you pay $10 for 24 shirts, that's $240, right? You still gonna have to pay for that with a heat press. Like a heat press still gonna cost you $100, $150. I'm not really sure what the price is, but I'm sure it's at least $100 to $200 for a decent heat press. And then tell me this: do the vinyl come with the heat press machine? Or
Nah, so starting out, what I suggest people spend if they want to get like a heat press and a vinyl cutter and everything, it used to be around $1,000. Obviously, the prices change. It might be around $1,500 right now. But in a small scale, you could probably get away with a $200 heat press, a $300 vinyl cutter, or you can just order your designs on transfers. So that way you can bring them in house and you can just press them up as the orders come in. So roughly anywhere from $700 to $1,500, I would say, is a fair small investment to get started.
Hey, I'm glad you said that because really, I just want to level out the playing field.
Yeah.
Because in my eyes, it was like, boy, they was eating us up for saying don't use a heat press. But what I'm trying to tell them is it's the same type of investment. At the end of the day, you still got to make an investment. Like
what you get with heat pressing is flexibility. Right, you get the flexibility, and people have to then to understand where they're fitting. Right, if you gonna live and die by a brand, you should stay far away from production, and that's what I kind of tell people. Right, you should stay far away because most people who start out like, yeah, I'm printing brand shirts for my rock band, and we gonna sell merch, or I got a clothing brand idea and I want to make my merch and sell it. You end up doing more work. It's really hard to say no to money, like especially when you out here trying to get it and you're in the grind of the hustle. So if you know you got this brand concept, what I believe is like you should stay far away from production because next thing you know, you're going to be printing for Ricky down the street. You're going to be printing for this guy, that guy. Your brand is going to come so far away from the front of your mind. What you should be doing is selling. But at the end of the day, we got so many people sitting behind a computer expecting the money to come to them because they threw up a website and they put something in front of people that what they believe is they put it in front of people by creating a mock-up, putting it on a website. They expect the sales to just come to them, right? And from what I know about your story and how you guys are getting it with going all the way back with the God is Dope interview or consultation that you guys did back then, y'all were out seeking knowledge and getting in front of people. A lot of people aren't doing that today, and that's where it's like, well, what's the best way for me to invest? Because I'm at the end of the day, people are trying to make money with what they're doing.
Facts. Hey, I got something for you. I want you to tell me what your thoughts is on this though, because my thought process on this was like I had so many comments I wanted to explain to this person, and I seen this comment so many times. It was why would I outsource like my production if I could keep 100% of the profit?
Yeah.
How you feel about that? Like, tell me how you feel about that.
The closer you can get to manufacturing, when you go retail, you make the most money, right? If you could get down to the yarn and putting the shirts together and then sell it at retail, yeah, you make the most money, but you don't have time. Like you don't have time to do anything else. And that's what I try to tell people. So we got to more so attach ourselves to the parts of the process that we enjoy. And then we got to outsource or bring people in the business to do the rest, right? So if you're a huge online person that can do email marketing, you should stay far away from and go into print on demand record. If you like a graphic designer and you kind of know the internet, if you get into production, 2:00 in the morning, I'm printing 3-4 hours, and you can go back and check the lives on my channel if you're interested in that stuff. But you're going to be wrapped up and so far away from your computer that you're not doing what it is that you're good at, right? Everybody say, learn the things that you're not good at. Nah, man, double down on what you're good at and get everything else for the rest. So the theory is correct, right? But when you start talk about scaling, what I'm doing right now is I'm focused on a business from a top level, even when it comes to screen print. I want to bring a printer in. I want somebody to take in the orders and kind of facilitate things. So eventually along that process, you don't want to be doing every little thing inside your business. And this is where we agree. What I want people to understand is that they got to attach themselves to their situation, right? That. For your people and the people with the brands is like, well, if I want to scale this thing and take it to the next level, I can't keep pressing. I can't keep doing this. I got to maneuver in this direction. On the other side, there's so many people that aren't living and dying by their brand, and they're just trying to figure things out. And that's where I think the heat press wins. And that's why more people are in that conversation on the opposite or the contrary. But the people who are out with a brand and they doing some numbers and they trying to figure out how to grow, they not even want to entertain the conversation because their head is in making their brand as successful as they want it to be.
I like that. Other words, hey, you got to stay in your lane. So all my heat press people, if you want heat press, I need you to stay in your lane. For all my people that's trying to build a brand, I need you to stay in your lane. I need you to go with that email marketing, go with that social media marketing, and focus on doing that instead of focusing on production. Do me a favor, for all my people that want to stay in the heat press lane, hey, I need y'all to go subscribe to Stan channel because he got every video that you need to actually screen to heat press anything that you want. Do me a favor real quick before we even hop up. I want you to walk all my heat press people through the process real quick. Give me a 2 to 3 minute spill on how can you get started with a heat press.
Hey man, head over to marathon.supply, buy a heat press. You can get transfers of your designs. Find yourself a graphic designer. If you can't find one, you just gotta look on Instagram. I don't really like Fiverr. The designs aren't of quality in my opinion. Attach yourself to a graphic designer. Get your heat press from transfers and get started selling. It's really that simple.
Really that simple. Hey man, anything that you want to share with our subscribers, you got the floor right now.
No doubt, man. Listen, I think everything that you guys first and foremost is doing is great for the community and bringing people into understanding, man. Like you said, you got to stay in your lane. Take all of these people, my information, Rich's information. Take what applies to you and just keep it pushing, right? You're going to find your own blueprint and you can kind of match and mix and marry things from all of us together and put them all together and you can find yourself on a successful path.
Hey, man, thank you so much. Thank everybody that watched this video all the way to the end. And this is not going to be the last video that we make, right, Stan?
No doubt, man. I'm here.
Hey, we here. You heard me? We here. Worley in the building. Stan Banks in the building. Thank y'all. We out.
All right. If you made it to this part of the video, that means you just watched the entire clip where they just went over everything you needed to know about heat press and screen print. All right. But y'all know I can't leave y'all with this video without having a word of the week. So the word of the week this week is going to be time management. You need to continue to manage your time better. It's the reason why your brand isn't able to continue to grow. So bare minimum, you should be working 30 minutes a day inside of your brand. Literally, all it takes is 30 minutes a day. You continue to do that consistently, your brand will continue to grow and elevate, and that is how your brand grows. And if you got more than 30 minutes to put in more than 30 minutes, because literally, if you're not working on your brand, you can't expect to continue to go up, scale up, and grow. So you have to literally invest time to literally work inside of your business, and then you can start working on your business. But if you don't even know what you're going to drop, you can't go do a pop-up shop. So we can't continue to get you on to the next step if you're not taking advantage of the time that you got now. So all we asking is for you to put in 30 minutes, all right? 30 minutes. We appreciate you. Thank you for watching this video. I'm Marlon Watts, and I'm out.